My name is John Adams, and this is Duel Bots, the card game that lets you build your own giant robot and beat your friends into scrap metal. Each Duel Bots deck has three types of cards: components, which are your weapons and other gear; resources, which focus on hand management; and damage cards. Damage cards go in a separate pile, and you draw them when your robot takes damage. When your damage pile is empty, you lose. Each turn, you may play one component from your hand into one of 7 slots in your play area. This sets the pace of the game. Components get more powerful as the game goes on. Tier 1 components can be played right away, but they aren't very powerful. You must have 3 components on the table to play a more powerful Tier 2 component. When you have 6 components in play, your signature card goes in the 7th and final slot. Each deck has exactly 1 signature component, and they are terrifically powerful. This follows the giant robot theme, where mega weapons tend to decide the battle after some back and forth with smaller attacks. This stack of energy cards is called the Power Bank. It powers your online components. Your damage pile contains all the red damage cards from your deck. Your draw pile contains all your resource and component cards. As you play, you will discard face-up into a third pile called Offline. When you run out of cards in your draw pile, immediately shuffle your offline cards to form a new draw pile. Let's walk through one turn. First, draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. Second, play 1 energy from your hand to the power bank, and play 1 component from your hand to an open online slot. Third, you can activate as many online components and play as many resources from your hand as you wish in any order. Fourth, clean up by putting used energy back in the power bank and discard to 5 cards or less. Then it's your opponent's turn. Let's take a closer look at how to play resources and activate components. This is Speed, a resource card. To play a resource, just discard it and do what it says. In this case, draw 2 cards from the top of your draw pile. Dodge means you can use this card to defend yourself, which we'll see in a moment. This is Delta Darts. In the middle of the card, you can see it's a Tier 1 component. Its activation cost is 1 energy. So take 1 energy card from your power bank and put it behind the Delta Darts card to show the energy and the component have been used for this turn. After you pay the activation cost, follow all the actions on the component in order. Delta Darts lets you draw 1 card, then make a range attack. If you discard a card with the word dodge, you can avoid a range attack. Otherwise, the attack hits and you take the actions listed after attack on the component card. If you get hit by Delta Darts, you discard 2 cards. You can discard a card with the word block on it to avoid a close attack. You can't avoid signature components or burst attacks. If an attack does damage, you may discard 1 or more cards with deflect to reduce the damage. If you're hit by an attack that does 3 damage and you discard 2 armor cards, you would take 1 damage. You can use armor to reduce damage from burst and signature attacks. Let's say you just took 3 damage. Draw 3 cards from the top of your damage pile and put them into your online component slots. Each slot can hold 1 component and 2 damage cards. You can't activate an online component if it has damage on it. If you put the damage into an empty slot, you can't put a component into that slot later. The early turns are a race to get out components. You'll face some tough choices, spending your defense cards against some wicked attack combinations. And if you make it through and get your signature card into play first, you have a good chance of winning. A big part of this game is designing your own custom deck. Do I have enough defense cards? Enough block, dodge, or deflect? Can I play a component almost every turn? How does this deck deal with damage? Giant Robots is such a great theme, and these cards look amazing. I hope you have as much fun playing Duel Bots as I had designing it. Now get out there and hit your friends with a rocket fist to the face.